Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Adam Vokey.
You know what, Mr. Vokey? We are somewhere special today.
We are. We are in the Brush Emporium, but a special place inside the Brush Emporium.
We are actually in what's going to become the Bullhucker studio.
Yep.
As you can see behind Adam and I, we're still getting it up and we'll be up for a while. I'm kind of bummed out. I was hoping to have it done because we have a guest today.
We do have a guest.
I was hoping it could be the first one. It's an old friend of mine. From Pueblo, Colorado, the nightclub I always talk about. This is one of the main guys I worked with, Robbie Garcia. What's up, my man?
Not much. How you doing?
From Chicago, Illinois.
Yep, from Chicago, Illinois. South side. even though I rock the Cubs for the north side, I live on the south side.
So. On the south side, like in Shameless.
Not that far south side.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. That's okay.
Yeah.
You been to Chicago?
No. Well, I've driven through it for work, but that's about it. So.
That's about, I've never been to Chicago. Maybe this year.
I've been stuck in traffic there.
There you go.
It's no fun, right?
So you've been to Chicago?
Yeah. I think I heard some gunshots.
This is a cool podcast because this is a lesson in life for people, younger people. You should always be careful, not be careful, but always be open and willing to meet people. You know, when I moved to Pueblo, I started a nightclub, and I made a lot of lifelong friends. That's weird for a job to start out. That's how you and I become friends. We work together, right?
Yeah, we work together.
But I made a lot of lifelong friends, you know. And one day, this guy comes in, this big dude, Robbie, who wants a job as a barback. So I hire him, right? And we're going to tell stories about that later, right?
Yeah.
You learn how to bartend and all that stuff, and it was a fun time. But he became a very close friend of mine, you know, and we've always kept in touch. And we don't talk as much as we probably should, but when we do, we like two old women, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I'm excited for this one. This might be a little longer one because we're going to bullshit a lot. We're going to talk about Papa Jack later, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a story in itself, Adam. So
right.
I'm going to apologize right now if we just start chewing your ear off. So
that's all right.
Okay. All right. Robbie, Chicago will be heading back to Pueblo for the weekend.
Well, just the week. It's our spring break. I'm a teacher, so
right.
I get the week off.
What are you going to do in Pueblo? What's the big plans for Pueblo, Colorado?
Just catch up with family and hit some of the old eats. Like, you know, I really miss places like Paskey and Dewdrop.
Yeah.
Even Showtime's Wings, you know.
I don't think that's open anymore, dude.
Not Showtime, Primetime. Primetime's still open, but yeah, Showtime, their offshoot is not open from what I've heard. So
here at the Emporium, they just opened yesterday. This is obviously May right now, but they opened here early April, and the cool thing about it is they have a pizza kitchen, right? They're a pizza pouring. You grabbed a pizza to take home.
Yep, I have a pizza around the corner that's waiting on me.
It's got your name on it. And I told them, Robbie, you should go down to Pueblo to
the Dewdrop
Inn and go kiss their ass for the recipe because that's amazing pizza.
Yes.
There's two of them now. There's the one in Pueblo West and the one to get shot at on the south side.
Right.
What is that on the south side?
It's actually not on the south side. It's more like east side. It's on like Santa Fe.
Right.
It's right by like Salt Creek and all that, like Santa Fe and Central Avenue.
Yeah, Salt Creek's not. You remember when I told you my grandparents lived in a place called Dog Patch? That's like a little nicer than Salt Creek.
Step up.
Yeah, like if you're in Pueblo and your car gets stolen, I don't know why they look for the damn thing. It's on fire in Dog Patch right now, on blocks. You know what I mean? You're not going to find it anywhere else. So, you're excited to go see Pueblo? When's the last time you were in Pueblo?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I know when the pandemic first started, I went out there to because we were teaching remotely. I actually went out there to teach classes from my computer in Colorado and give the kids virtual field trips. So I'd like go out to Beulah Mountain Park or Rye, and so I have the mountains in the background while I was teaching art class to them at the time. So
that's very cool. I think I remember you doing that actually. And the river walk. Did you take them by the river walk?
No, the Nature Center was probably the only one in the nearest to Pueblo.
Okay.
But like I did Rye, I did Lake Isabel, Beulah Mountain Park.
How'd they like it?
Garden of the Gods was like the last one I did.
Oh, that's very cool. How'd the kids like it?
Well, the one or two kids that showed up online
that's it, huh?
Probably liked it, yeah.
Damn Chicago kids.
I know.
Well, before we get any further, I want to say welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. Now, if you're new to the podcast, This is a podcast where we bring on a guest. Today's Mr. Robbie Garcia, the legend, as I always called him. Robbie Garcia. Yeah, don't roll your eyes. That's all I call you. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to, Robbie's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's actually borrowed, made up, or partly made up and partly true. Robbie, without going into great detail, which one is it?
This one's totally made up.
All the way made up.
I'm going for it.
Someone didn't come to play any games, Adam Vokey.
Nope.
Are these Pueblo stories, any of them, or no?
One's close to a Pueblo story, but no. Sorry.
I can't control my emotions right now. Robbie, can you please pick up those 2 things you brought us and show them to the camera? Robbie brought us gifts today. He brought us actually candy things that are paper, rock, scissors.
Paper, rock, scissors.
I see one.
Those are great.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but it's pretty amazing. Nuts, dude. I don't know who invented that, but I'll have to read these later, see if the rules are on them to see. Those are just, that's not going to be eaten. I think that's just going to be part of the decorum of the Bullhucker studio.
Back here on the wall.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we're going to get into a lot of fun later, but let's do some stories. You ready to tell some stories, Rob?
Sure.
All right. You ready to hear some stories, Adam?
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Want to name them off, buddy?
We've got The Slide, Cliffhanger, and Forgot Something.
I do want to say one thing. If we do sound a little bit echoey, I apologize. Adam and I have not got the acoustic boards up yet, so we're in the basement. We're in the bowels of the Emporium. So we are a little echoey in here. So that's I'm going to apologize right now if the audio is a bit off of this podcast. So I wish I kind of bummed out because I was super excited when Robbie was coming down from Chicago. So, all right. You want to pick one out?
Yeah, let's go with Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Okay, so this is the one that's close to Pueblo. It's back in my YMCA Camp Jackson days. From probably my my junior year in high school throughout my, the time I graduated with my associate's degree in college. I worked at the YMCA Camp Jackson in Rye, Colorado, just outside of Colorado City, fairly close to Lake Isabel. And I had been working at the Y for so long that this is probably my 3rd or 4th year in, and I was the camp cook by this time.
I remember this.
And then during the first week would be our training week. And because I worked at the YMCA year-round, when I wasn't working at Camp Jackson in the summers, I was doing before and after school childcare for the childcare program for the YMCA as well. And I was always up to date on my CPR first aid cards because I had to do it for the childcare. So on the day that we'd have a training for CPR and first aid at the camp, I usually had most of the time to myself. Since I was the cook, I basically just had to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready, and all the time in between I had to myself. So I had decided that after lunch this one day, I was going to go on a hike to an area called East Ridge. The camp was kind of like in a bowl, and there's a mountain kind of on the eastern end of camp that had a rock face on it, probably about 50 foot. And the rock face was probably about 50 foot in height, and then, of course, it went into the decline of the mountain and all that. And it was an easy, probably half-hour hike that we'd take the kids on probably once a week. So I was like, I'm just going to go do this one on my own. I have time to kill. It was a beautiful day out, and so I just walked out. Of course, I didn't have my hatchet, which I usually would carry with me when I'd go on hikes. Right. And I did the one thing you're never supposed to go on hikes: go alone.
Covered in ketchup, yes.
Yeah. So I, go up to East Ridge, and I'm just kind of sitting on the rocky cliff, the face of East Ridge, and looking back at the camp, and just kind of, getting excited for the summer to start, and just kind of enjoying myself, enjoying the time. Then I hear some rustling behind me, and I look behind me. There's this big wild turkey. And I'm like...
I was going to give you credit for being a ballsy man, but then you just ran with the turkey. Go ahead.
Big wild turkey. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. And that's also my alarm. If anything should,
Right.
if anything else should creep up back there, because there's been a few times where I found bear tracks in that area.
Oh, shit.
I've actually seen bears, probably once every summer I worked up there, I'd seen a bear at one point or another.
Right.
So, but when you got a bunch, I don't want to scare people away from sitting there, Kids Camp Jackson. When you got large groups of kids, that's when the bears hide up and they don't come out. But, when it's beginning of the summer, nobody's out and about yet. So
Right.
I was a little weary about bears. So, I look, we got a turkey there. It's cool. And then I'm just sitting here, probably about a half hour later, I start hearing this rustling again. This time it's a little more violent. I look behind me and I see this bush just shaking. And then all of a sudden I start seeing like feathers and shit flying from this bush.
I can't tell you how much right now I hope this is a turkey getting laid story. But go ahead.
No. All of a sudden the shaking stops. Then I hear a I'm like, oh.
Like a human being saying, oh, okay.
Like some sort of animal.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
my mind goes to the bear right away.
Right.
It could have been a fox. It could have been a coyote. It could have been a mountain lion. But I
Right.
just hear the So now I'm like, oh crap. Because my only way back to that trail is past that bush. And then I start looking down this rocky ledge. And I know people who've actually climbed up and down it.
Right.
People with much better physique than myself. People who
Get out of here.
are more into.
Bullshit.
I'm talking actual rock climber type people.
I know.
And I've seen kids like climb halfway down, and I have to yell at them, "Hey, get back up here!" and stuff like that. But now I'm like, I'm gonna have to go that direction versus walk back around, because obviously the thing sees me, whatever it is, growled at me. Basically, it was telling me, "Hey, this is my dinner. No turkey for you."
Yeah.
And I don't even want to go near that area now.
Right.
So I start climbing down. Now the first half of it, there's all these like ledges and stuff.
What grade are we talking, Robbie? Like
Like
up and down?
Like about 50 feet of straight up and down, but with little chunks sticking out.
Like Sylvester Stallone cliffhanger? Is that what we're talking?
Kind of.
Okay,
Like a natural version of the aggro crag, or the American gladiators, how they'd have to climb up that wall.
Like a climbing wall. That's the wow.
So there's little rocks that are protruding here and there.
Right.
But it's not. But there's no slope to it till about 50 feet down.
Okay.
So I said, and I've probably climbed halfway down this before. So I get at that point. But then I start noticing that the places to grab onto or step down onto are a lot farther and few in between.
Right.
And I'm like at the halfway point, I was like, shit, do I go back up or do I continue down? And
Right.
I'm like, just still, just shaking, scary, just working my way down this damn thing.
Well, yeah, because you have a better chance of fighting the bear than you do of fighting gravity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I get to the point where I'm probably about 8 feet from the incline of the slope,
Okay.
So it's not like flat ground. It's still,
Right.
that's about where it goes into about a 45-degree angle.
Right.
And I'm able to climb down to one point, and then I see my next drop is about 2 feet down, about 2 feet over, and I'm just kind of like this. And it's only like an edge, probably about this wide, about 6 inches out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I miss it, it's only about a 5 feet drop after that. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's do this thing. I kind of jump over, fucking stick it. I land it. But for that split second that I'm celebrating in my mind, I land it. I realized that rock must have been about this thin because it totally snaps under my weight.
Oh, no.
And I just fall straight down. And I fall straight down about 4 to 5 feet down to the down to the incline or the slope of the mountain, which is totally gravel because of all the little chunks of rock that keeps falling off. So it's just pure gravel. So I slip and slide on this thing. Somehow I get to the point where I'm just skiing on my butt, going down this thing. I see a tree coming up. I'm trying to roll over to miss the tree. Then I turn into a tumbling
Right.
whatever you call it. And I end up finally at the bottom in the creek. And so I'm like trying to get myself up off the creek, and then all of a sudden I start hearing twigs and stuff snapping from down the. I'm like, did that thing just come around, or
Yeah.
But it turned out it was the nurse and the wrangler. They're going out on a ride, so they see me on my hands and knees in this creek, and they're like, the camp nurse Julie Chandler, or she's Julie K now. She's like,
What's up, Julie?
what's up, Julie? Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I kind of told her the story and all that. I was like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we thought we'd go on a camp ride. We're a horse ride. We were actually looking for you. We wanted to take you with. I was like, I guess I should have been around or told you guys where I was going, before just deciding to go on a hike or whatever. Because going up on horseback would have been much nicer than.
Hey, kids, we found Garcia on his knees in the woods. He's fine. He's safe.
Yeah.
He got eaten by a turkey.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, I told him, I wouldn't go up there just in case there is a bear. You don't want, because also, the horses are usually skittish because they don't raise them at the camp. They'd rent them from a group, and
Right.
At that time, it was the company we used to rent them from were horrible. We'd get these really skittish horses that we'd have to try to train and stuff for a week before we'd start and put kids on them and stuff like that. So I was like, right now might not be the best time to take a horse up to Eastridge because. They're being skittish now, and if there really is an animal up there.
Right.
So.
Well, the turkey did get lucky, and I was right the first time. That turkey's going to be chill as shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows?
The turkey growling at you.
Who knows? Maybe that's what the moan was.
I hope it was. I hope that turkey was just doing it to see, because he just wants you walking by him,
He's faking his own death.
I don't want this thick bastard trying to eat me. Although, wild turkeys are mean as shit, by the way.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually been around a lot of wild turkeys?
I've seen a lot of them because there's actually a lot in that area. I've seen them run by in flocks. But usually I'm with groups of people, and like I said, when animals see groups of people, they just take off. They don't,
So out by Ray, Colorado, down Highway 34, there's a part, like a little road that goes out to the lake out there, and there's wild turkeys everywhere out there. Those things are everywhere out there.
I just saw those turkeys this morning.
Did you?
On my way back from Hayes.
Oh, that's right. You went to Kansas.
Yeah, right there by Stalker Pond.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And those things I had one kamikaze my pickup truck. I was talking to Jeremy Stegner and all that. Just on a house, wham! And he goes, "What was that?" I go, "I thought I hit a deer or something." I look over, that turkey's all messed up. I was like, "That some bitch came at me, bro. I'm in a pickup truck."
Wow.
Yeah, those things are mean as hell. I got chased outside of Ice and Oil when I worked for Pepsi. I got out, and they run back there, dude. They chased me into the building, but I'm like a scared little girl running from this turkey, man, because it was pissed off. I mean, it didn't growl at me, but it did let me know in that business it was going to, want a piece.
Right.
So you never saw what it was. You never got to.
No, I didn't go back up there for a couple weeks.
I wouldn't either, buddy. I wouldn't either. What do you think about that, Vogue?
That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Just the thought of you climbing down. I was putting myself on that cliff. I was like, there's no way in hell I would.
No, man.
Do that.
No. Especially out there, man. I'd take
my chance with the bushes.
And I was close to 150 pounds lighter back then, so don't imagine me now doing that because
no.
Well, I'm imagining me at this size doing that.
At 20 years ago, too, or, it's...
Yeah, this was probably 94, 96, 97-ish.
Oh, almost when I met you. Almost.
Yeah, probably right before, the year before we met, yeah.
What year did you start, 98 at Peppers?
Yeah.
Okay. I started in 96 out there, so... Huh. That's wild. Did you ever cliff jumping with us? Were you with us when we did that?
No, I heard about it.
Oh, yeah, no. We'd go to the mountains and play softball, drunk.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get hammered and then drive down. Not anymore. Okay, don't do this, kids. Okay, don't do it. And we'd drive down the mountain, and Jack Severe, remember Jackie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I told this story once on the podcast, so I won't get too far into it. Basically, he's the one that said, "Hey, you guys want to see something cool?" We're like, yeah. And we walked over to these. What size of the reservoir? That's on the south end of the reservoir? The highway goes by the south, right?
Yeah.
So we go down these little trails, and that dude, he gets close to we see the lake, the reservoir, and that dude starts stripping off and just off the edge. And I'm like, did that dude just kill himself in front of us? Like, oh my God, And we went down there, but we'd all, me, I don't like heights. I don't like heights.
Yeah, you don't like the top of a 6-foot ladder.
I don't like the top of a 6-foot ladder, dude. But dude, had enough drinking in me. I leaped, dude. It was fun. I left the glasses in there and had to drive home all blind with Nathan Gardunio. What's up, Nate? So We're gonna get into those guys here in a bit. So,
Right.
All right, I like that cliffhanger. So, 2 left. The slide and forgot something. Now, there's always one I want to hear more. So I'm gonna go with the other one. Let's go. Forgot something.
Okay, forgot something. So this is right after Owen was born. He might have been about six weeks old. Maybe.
What's up, Owen?
6 weeks old, about 2 months old. That's my son. And this was probably the second time I've ever done any traveling with my wife. And all the years leading up to that, I'm one of those who, you get me into the airport, I mean business. I like, I jockey for my position, Southwest, you got to get in the lines and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll pay extra just to get into the A group or whatever like that.
Right.
And, I like to get my seat in front of the wing, and I'm just
Right.
flipping business. And anyhow, we got booked. Somehow we got in the A group. We had bought a seat for her and myself, and we actually bought the extra seat for Owen because he had a stroller. It was like a bed that snapped in the stroller, or bassinet that snapped in the stroller, but then it also doubled as a car seat, so you could take it out and it could snap into, seat belted in wherever you were going. So,
Right.
so we bought the seat just so we could, ensure that he could, we could strap him in and not have to worry about holding him, because flights are tight fits for myself, So
Who are you talking to? You're not sitting with 2 Olympic athletes, bud.
so anyhow, but anyways, we get to our gate, and we get actually in plenty of time, and we see all the people are sitting there. There's nowhere to sit, so you look at the gate across the way. There's plenty of seats, and we're like, oh, we'll go sit over here. We can see when they start calling us, we can go get in line and stuff.
Right.
And then I was like, I was like, oh, let me go get a magazine or something, a bottle of water, just trying to kill time, go up there, and I go get whatever I was going to get, start coming back, and I start seeing people standing up to line up. They're calling the A group. It's like, oh, that's us, get your stuff, and I grab my backpack, and we just start heading towards the thing. I go in there, flash my ticket, they scan it, go straight back. I get in, about 10 rows back, really good seats right in front of the wing, 10 rows back. I go to the seat, and I go throw my backpack on the seat by the window, and I turn around. Is this okay, babe? She's not there.
Oh, no.
I totally, I guess, got so excited and caught up in the moment that totally forgot that she had a baby to pack up.
And you left your wife and your newborn son.
Not only did I feel like the biggest asshole in the world, I was the biggest asshole in the world.
I kind of hope this is the one you totally made up, Robert.
So you just went ahead to secure your seats.
So
You didn't forget her.
Exactly.
I was married once. I understand.
So of course
He knows how to lie right away.
I throw my jacket over the other 2 seats. And have you ever tried to exit a plane while people are coming in?
No.
Plus, so I'm trying to squeeze through. Excuse me, I gotta go. Excuse me. And, the aisle's about this wide. And I'm about this wide, so I'm trying to squeeze through. People are giving me the look. I don't know if they're giving me the look like I'm an asshole for trying to get off the plane while they're getting on, or if they actually know what happened. I don't know. I'm like, guys, excuse me, I really got to get off this. And I get back to the ramp where my wife is holding Owen in his carrier. She's got the diaper bag. She's got her purse. She's got another shopping tote bag. My computer bag. She's still holding some of my shit plus all her. She's trying to tell the flight attendant how to fold up his stroller, because there's no 2 strollers in the world that fold up the exact same way.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's some we had one, you push this little red thing with your thumb and twist the handle, and it would fold flat and fold together. Others you have to pull pins on the side. Yeah, there should be a class.
Yeah.
Or make the goddamn things universal, right?
Yeah. But so she's trying to tell this person how they, and I was like, oh, babe, let me go. Get the fuck away from me. I was like, and I'm like, no, let me help you. I said, don't you touch me.
Now, how long were you guys together at this point?
Owen was just born, so we'd been together for about 1.5 years, but we'd only been married for about, 6, 7. maybe 4 or 5 months.
She's got a bag in one hand. She's got the stroller in his hand. A divorce lawyer on the phone.
Yeah, she is like, "Don't you touch me!" And she's got a little stubbornness to her, to where like, no, she's going to walk like a pack mule with everything. Let the world know that I'm the asshole that I am, not helping her with anything, And
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, at least let me grab my computer. And she's like, yeah, you're not touching anything on this body, So,
Oh, good.
so she's walking down that aisle. And I'm like, well, we're up here, see, row 10 over there. You see my stuff over there?
Right.
She's
gets
like,
there.
that's where you're sitting. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, no. She said she got there. She handed me my backpack. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the window seat, motherfucker." She knows why I like to sit in front of the wing, So she's like, "Yeah." She sits there. She puts the baby straps. She's not gonna let me strap the baby in. She's not gonna let me do nothing. She's like,
This is why Owen's an only child, I assume.
Well, there's other reasons, but anyhow. So we're, I do put some stuff up in the bin, the overhead, but yeah, she's sitting down. I know that this 2-hour flight's gonna feel like 8 hours. It's gonna be the longest 2-hour flight in my life.
Right.
We're sitting there, and right before we're taking off, I can see she's panically looking for something, and she's looking through her purse and looking through the diaper bag, and she's like, I was like, well, what do you need? What can I help you with? She's like, don't talk to me. And I'm like, great. I'm like feeling horrible and stuff like that. We're on the plane, and the plane takes off, and she's sitting there. She starts bawling and crying, and I'm like, sniffling, and I was like, dude, what can I do? What can I do to make this a better situation? She's like, nothing you can do. I'm pretty sure I left my phone at the gate.
Oh no.
I'm like, it's okay. We'll get you a new phone. She's like, you don't understand. I have Owen's first smile on that phone.
Oh no.
And this is before the cloud and stuff like that, or before we knew how to use the cloud. If it was, So, she's like, I'm thinking, oh great, And then as soon as that, as soon as we level off and that, you can unbuckle your seatbelt sign, pops up.
Right.
I jump up real quick, and I open the overhead real quick. I pull out her tote bag, and I do find her phone in the tote bag.
Oh, nice.
And that did clear the air a lot.
Right,
right. She's like, you're lucky. I'm like, okay.
You live another day.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. She still didn't talk to me the rest of the way there. But
Yeah. But you got the phone. You got his first smile.
Yeah, so we got everything back.
I like it. What do you think about that one? You relate to that any way there, Dad?
I can't relate to that. I was thinking, like, when you went out to, like, help her out, and she's like, get away from me. That's when you just, like, do a couple people back. Like, you don't even know her, and just follow her onto the plane, and then you can stand in the aisle while she's putting, like, and people are like, man, what is this lady doing? I just want to take my seat, Just, you're already in trouble, dude. Lean into it,
See, this is why I'm going to start like a 1-800 number, right? I'm going to call it the shit list. Now, if you're on the shit list, I'm going to have, okay, well, here's what happens. This is your associate, Adam. Tell him exactly what happened. Tell him why you're on the shit list. Adam will tell you how to get off the shit list or survive the shit list.
So there's a guy on Instagram. Have you seen his videos?
I have. It's
he's
amazing.
He's like the marriage counselor guy.
Yes.
So he's like sitting in this office and he'll like answer the phone, and they're like, "Oh, so you forgot that her birthday, huh? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call you back, and and all this stuff." So then he calls back. She goes, "Let your wife answer your phone." And so he like helps guys. They're hilarious. I'm like, where was this dude like 10 years ago?
He has the big whiteboard behind him that says,
it's like,
find this guy. He's on TikTok too. Find this dude. Those are
they're
amazing.
Hilarious.
He'll ask you, did you do this? Okay, is this happening? Damn it. Okay, how about this? Okay, shit. All right, we're still okay. We're still okay. Like he's coaching them through it.
I need the last 4 of your social and your credit card number. I'm going to call you back, but this is... And so then, like, the wife answers. She's like, yes, this is so-and-so from, Sandals Resort. And I just wanted to confirm the anniversary package. Wait, is so-and-so there? So
it's pretty funny.
So then he calls the dude back again. He's like, okay, so you're taking her to the Sandals Resort for 4 days, and I've already booked it.
Nice.
My 1-800 number, 1-800 shit list is going to be SHT, though, right? We got to spell it, right? So, all right, that was Forgot Something. What do you think so far?
a couple that I can kind of put myself in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking them so far.
All right. You got one in mind?
A little bit, but not. I don't have a huge front runner, but one is kind of edging the other one out.
Okay. All right. Me too. So one more. We got the slide.
Okay. So, you know how I used to play baseball out here? Not softball, but like adult baseball,
Right.
with the fastball, regulation bases and everything. So, after I moved out to Chicago, I continued. I was on a team called the Winnemac Black Sox.
Okay.
The Winnemac Black Sox. We were all Cubs fans, but, the Cubs team was already taken, so... But anyways, I stayed on the very next year. Another guy took over the team, and we became the A's and all that. But so I played first base and DH pretty much for, the positions you have to run the least, whatever.
Right. No, I like how you explain this to Adam and I like we don't relate to what you're talking about. Come on, bro.
Like we're going to run a marathon after we do this.
So anyhow, I play with these guys, and I usually would play DH or EH when we had enough players, but mainly played first base when we, really were down to 9 players, and I had to be on the field, whatever. So,
right.
So it's towards the end of the season. There's like one playoff spot left, and we're towards the bottom of the bubble, but we're playing the other team that's just below us on the bubble, and we're, if we win this one, there's a good chance we're going to make the playoffs. And it was at a place called Outgeld Park, which is a place, now that I know Chicago a little more, I had no business ever being.
Why is that?
Because I'm pretty sure that they were making drug deals just right outside the dugouts and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
I mean, just really, like the 9 people on their team, the 9 people on our team are probably the only 18 white people in the park at this time. So
it's VFW Park.
yes.
All
So
right.
and not to say that parks on that side of town are bad, but that specific one was pretty bad. But it was the only one our league could secure a field that had lights. So it was the only time we ever played night games was at Outgeld Park. So this was actually at night. And I just remember, because most of our games are in the morning, and I normally wouldn't even eat before I'd go play a game. But this, I've had most of the day, I probably ate something bad or whatever. But I'm driving, this is probably about a 30-minute drive from my house or from my apartment to this park anyways. But I'm driving, and all of a sudden something starts hitting my stomach. I start getting what they call the bubble guts. It's like,
Once again, preaching to the choir,
oh
bro.
my, it's like, oh my gosh, I hope we have enough players so I can just tell them, show up and say, okay, you guys got enough players. I'm sick. I can't play.
Right.
We get there, and I'm number 9. I'm like just waiting. I was like, well, game's gonna start in a few minutes. Let's see what happens. And of course, we're texting, and everybody else, I gotta work. And that's the other problem with being the only night game of the only night games. Half the people had like work schedules. We had a lot of firemen and policemen on our team, so they'd always have weird shifts and stuff like that.
Right.
And so we don't got anybody else coming, so it's like I have to play, and I have to play first base on top of it. So.
Right.
So, and that it was just barely starting when I got there, and how sometimes if it'll come in waves, you'll feel that first cramp and just kind of squeeze, and it'll start to go away. Realize, okay, now it's not the time. It'll kind of go back and settle for a minute.
I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna give you kudos for bringing a poop story onto the Bullhucker podcast. This is kind of our thing. As a matter of fact, on the wall somewhere, we're going to have the poop emoji. I have a poopy hat. I'm bringing it on. I'm going to make people wear it when they tell the poopy stories. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because I just listened to the Joe Machuco episode today, and there was a poop story on that too. So
Wait, was there?
yeah, brown-eyed girl.
No doubt I forget that. Okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, the cramps and the bubble guts.
Okay, so, we get through most of this game, and, so like I said, it'd sneak up on me and say, hey, dude, what's going on? And I'd be, okay, stomach, and, be just tight, holding tight for a few minutes, and then, it'd kind of subside for a while, but we're getting we're actually towards the end of the game. It's like the So seventh inning, we're coming up to bat. We only played 7 innings. We're not a professional team, 2-hour time limit, so you can only get in 7 innings.
Right.
So it's 7th inning, and we're down by 3. It's probably like 5-2. I know for sure we're down by 3 because I'm like, oh, good, because 2 people are up, I'm up, hopefully I'll be the third out, and we'll,
Right.
Usually, I'm not going into a basketball game rooting against us, but
Robbie's going to take a dive.
this time
Better dives into shit.
Okay. So anyways, Al Pole leads off the inning. Tall, lanky fireman dude. He just hits this ball. It should have went over the fence. It hits the fence and bounces back, and he makes it to second base. Nice, perfect stand-up double. And then Morgan Trinkus, who's
What's up, Morgan?
yeah, what's up, Morgan? He was actually the guy who ran the team. He was our catcher, but he was also one of the fastest guys in the league. But he was a good hitter too, and he hits a screaming line drive straight down the line. Scores. Alpole scores easily, and Morgan makes it into second base, and now I'm up, and I'm like, oh shoot. And Al comes up to me, he picks up Morgan's bat, he looks at me, he says, dude, you get him in. I was like, dude, I'm not feeling so well. I'm not sure I can do this. He's like, dude, you just do what you do. And I was like,
that's what I'm worried about.
So, yeah.
I wrote that right now, dude.
Well, they used to call me Mr. Contact. I was not a power hitter at all whatsoever, but I always put the ball in place. So I was one of those who just hit grounders everywhere and advanced the runners. So when he's like, you do what you do, I know he's just put the ball in play and let Morgan score. So anyhow, and I'm just gonna swing at anything. I'm just gonna strike out. I don't care. So first pitch, it's like high up here, and I like swing at it, but it was so high. Morgan takes off, steals third. And I'm like, oh, okay. Anytime Morgan was on third base and I was up and there's less than 2 outs, it was an automatic squeeze play. I was a really good bunter. Nobody expects the fat person to bunt, so they play him way back out. So I'm like, okay, these guys are playing me back. It'll be an easy score for him. I just have to drop the bunt. He slides in. I'm out. They're going to throw me out at first. It's a sacrifice. It doesn't go against my batting average.
Right.
Win-win for everybody.
Right.
That pitcher throws. I square. I can hear Morgan taking off from third. I drop this perfect bunt. It rolls about 15 feet down the first base line, about 3 feet off the first base line, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm running. I'm not even running. I'm just kind of like jogging. And the overzealous pitcher comes running, slides, and he scoops up that ball. And all he has to do is reach out and touch me right there. I'm standing there for him. That son of a bitch thinks he's going to get a play on Morgan. So he ignores me, throws to plate where I can hear Morgan sliding across the plate already. So I'm like, oh shit, now I have to actually run it out to first. So I'm sitting here just kind of jogging it out to first, thinking the catcher's still going to throw me out. But then I hear the ball ping against the fence, which means that the pitcher overthrew the catcher. I'm like, okay. So I'm like slowing down. I'm getting to first. The first baseman, he actually like concedes. He's like, hey man, good bunt. He steps off out of the way. And Risey's saying good bunt. And before I can acknowledge it, I see his eyes get this big. That damn catcher decides he's still going to throw me out, probably because I'm so slow that the catcher's like, oh, I can still throw him out. So all of a sudden I see the first baseman just jump in the air. This thing goes way over his head, rolls out in the corner. Now I got to run to second base.
Son of a bitch, I got to keep going.
So now I'm trying to actually run this time, and I get about 2/3 to second base, and it feels like someone punched me in the nuts. I'm like, starting doing the penguin waddle to second base, trying to hold it in. I'm like, oh God, it's coming.
Who are you talking to? Once again, I don't know how many times we got to tell you you're amongst friends here.
I'm getting goosebumps, the cold sweat. I'm like, I get to second base. If they would have tried the play, it probably would have got me. But I get to second base. I'm like, oh my God. Normally, you bunt and end up on second base. That's a celebration.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, that's awesome. But at this time, I'm about to blow.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not even taking the lead off now. I'm just like standing at first or second, standing on second, hoping they're not going to throw to me to try to make me dive back or anything. So I'm not even going to lead off.
Right.
I'm standing there, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know if this one's going to subside. And I'm like, just like, come on, focus. You can get back in there, get back in my stomach, get back. Okay, it subsides for a second. And then there's Todd Schwartz. No,
what's up, Todd Schwartz?
Todd Schwartz. He, I can't remember if it's Schwartz or Schmidt. It's one of those German names, but his name's Todd. We could just call him Todd.
What is up, Todd?
So anyways, Todd's up, and again, he hits one to the outfield. It's like, why the hell didn't we score this whole damn game? Now all of a sudden we decide to go on a run.
Right.
So I'm waddling to third base, and I'm like, the third baseman, or the third base coach, he's waving me in. I'm like, holy fuck. So I turn, and I'm still just probably, my fast run is probably a good brisk jog for some people.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I'm not even doing that. I'm just like doing this waddle thing, hoping that. And anyways, they start yelling, down, down, down. I know it's going to be a close play, and I've only tried to forward slide once in my life. I was about 10, and about the same thing happened that happened now. I kind of do this belly flop. As soon as my chest hits, the air gets knocked out of me. I see stars. Then I kind of tumble versus sliding into the home plate. But anyways, I do that. Boom. I hit that ground hard. I see stars. I can't breathe. I hit my chest. I kind of tumble into home plate. Then I hear the umpire yell out because obviously the catcher tagged me out. And I get up and I dust myself. I'm dusting myself off, and I turn, and Dennis Temple.
What's up, Dennis?
He's like the next one up. He's got his bat getting ready to come up. He goes, "Dude, you okay?" And I look at my elbow. My elbow's all scraped up and it's got some blood. I was like, "Oh, it'll be okay." But he's not looking at my elbow. I notice he's kind of looking down. And I look at my gray pants are kind of like dusty orange, from that reddish clay dirt that they use on baseball fields. So my gray pants are like a dusty orange, except for where the moisture connects with the clay. Then all of a sudden it's like a dark red. And I notice there's this dark red trail kind of spiraling up my leg up towards the back of my pants.
Nice.
Then I start realizing I don't feel that the stone bubble guts no more. So somehow, within this train wreck of a slide that I did, I totally let it blow.
You shit yourself.
Yes. A better words, yes.
I want to be very clear on what's happening here, okay?
So I'm kind of looking back, and I'm just flat out mortified. I don't even know what it looks like back there. I'm flat out mortified, and to try to just cover up, to keep from crying, I yell. I kind of yell at the guys, "I told you I wasn't feeling well." And I just marched straight through that. I just marched straight through the gate of that dugout. Marched straight through that gate of the dugout, over to my car. I didn't even pick up my gear or nothing. I just walked straight to my car. And I'm thinking, shit, now what's the game plan? I'm covered shit. I'm going to get in my car. And all of a sudden I realize, my gym bag's in the back seat. The one I put in the back seat saying, I'm going to start going to the gym after work every day. But 6 months later and it's still there, not touched.
Once again, who do you think you're talking to, Rob?
Well, I'm talking to the worldly audience, though, too. Your global audience, okay. Yeah. So anyways, I was like, okay, good. I've got a fresh pair of underwear in there. I got a towel in there. I got gym shorts. So, I kind of wedging myself in between the door of my car. I'm wiping myself. I'm pretty sure the hobo sleeping in the bushes right by the park might have got a little bit of a show. So
still having nightmares.
I'm wiping myself best I can with the towel. Wrap up my soiled pants in the towel, throw it in the trunk, throw on clean underwear, throw on my bright red and navy blue trimmed gym shorts that match my green and yellow, my green and yellow jersey just perfectly.
That's your Mexican side coming out, bro. That's what my mom always said. That's the Mexican side coming out.
So anyways, I'm like, I better go get my gear. And I heard my team cheer a couple times, so I'm pretty sure we tied it, and I'm pretty sure we end up winning the game. So I get out there, and my team, the other team has last at bat, so my team's out on the field. I start packing up. I was like, well, shit, they only have 2 outfielders.
Yeah.
I grab my gloves, start going down. I get about halfway down the foul line, and I hear the ping of the ball, and I turn around. Simple grounder, second baseman. He flips it to the first baseman. And then I hear the umpire yell, ball game. So I was like, must have been the 3rd out, whatever. So
No one's shaking your hand. Nobody's touching you.
They're all doing the handshake line, and I'm like, I bust ass to get back into the dugout, because I want to get my shit packed up and out of there before the rest of the guys.
Right.
And I'm sitting there packing up my shit, and the guys do the handshake thing. And my team, since they won, they're kind of huddled around home plate, high-fiving each other, doing their stuff.
Yeah.
Post-game celebration, I hear, Garcia. I'm like ignoring it, trying to act like I didn't hear it. I'm like, Garcia! And I turn around and look up, and it's Al Paul, and he's like, I'm like, okay, So I go walk out there, and guys start patting me on the back. Hey, dude, that's a great bunch, man. Good job.
There's no shame in depends, Garcia. No shame in depends.
But the coolest thing, not one person said shit about what happened. I mean, I'm pretty sure that whenever they are on their own and they talk, they shoot the shit and talk about the good old days.
Yeah.
I'm sure they go, hey, remember that game Garcia shit himself? But no, they were classy enough to not say a damn word.
Robbie, do you think I would have let you live that down ever? No. No.
Well, I didn't know these guys as well as I knew you. I was one of the newcomers on the team. So.
That's cool.
But yeah, like I said, Al was probably the type who would have kicked anybody's ass if they would have said something.
Yeah,
Like I said, he's this big, almost 7-foot tall firefighter dude. Just
right.
And
I tell you, Robbie, as I said on this podcast multiple times, there's no such thing as an atheist who's ever shit themselves. I understand when you get the bubble guts, you start praying to whatever higher power was going to help you out the most. You're willing to switch gods if Buddha will help you not make this happen, especially in a baseball game. So, what do you think about that one, Vogue?
That actually sparked a memory when you were talking about the goosebumps and the cold sweats. I travel a lot for work, and I was actually, the last time I was driving through Chicago, I'm on the interstate, and I'm like, oh, man. Fruit and Slim Jims do not mix. I'll tell you that right now.
This is your what's that PSA? The more you know, duh.
And you want to one up and do dried fruit and Slim Jim.
So I'm driving down the interstate going through Chicago. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I got to pull over. And I'm looking, and there's like office buildings. I mean, there is no convenience stores. Finally, I see a McDonald's. I'm like, oh, thank God, I'll just get over and get off right here. The exit to get to that McDonald's was like 3 miles down the road. Then I had to get off. I had no idea where I was going. I'm like, I'm going to just guess that I turn here. And I turned, and luckily it led me to the McDonald's, but holy cow. So, yeah, I understand, man. I get it.
My dad had a heart attack 2019, 2018. He's okay. But I got the call from work, so I left, and I went through Lyman. I put my GPS on, and they don't take you through down 24. You don't go to the Springs anymore. They do an offshoot, and they take you through Fountain, right? Well, I got to go. Well, first of all, I'd been real good about working out and not eating fast food at all. I was going to stop and get a Subway because I was in a hurry, and I was hungry. Subway line is so huge. So I said, I'll go get Taco Bell, which I've not eaten forever. So I stopped by Taco Bell. I get a couple burritos, couple tacos, whatever. I'm driving, and all of a sudden, like you said, bubble guts. Like, and it gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, here's my colon, knocks and send a message upstairs that we need a decision today, like right now, So it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of, is this on my terms or not my terms? Okay, so I'm driving, and sweats, everything, and I see an Arby's sign in the distance. And I'm like, you can make it, man. You can. So I floor it, man. I don't drive fast, but that day. So I whip in that parking lot, Rob, and it's about lunchtime. And, man, I go to the bathroom, and I'm thinking to myself, if that stall is occupied, we're going to have a real awkward moment here at the Arby's. You know what I'm saying? I hope they have a sink that'll fit my ass. So I go in there, and it was, man. And I made it, man, by the hair of my chinny chin, But yeah, it was awkward. Like I probably yelled and everything. You know what I mean? Like screaming for my mother or whatever.
And the worst part is when you're in that situation, everything's like locked down. You're like, okay, I can. Then when you think you're home free, your body kind of relaxes, and that puts it to the next level of like,
And I guess I don't understand. I don't understand biology or how the human body works. Like you said something that clicked to me. Like you start waddling. Why is it you're so afraid to bend your damn knees when you got a shit?
It's because your ass cheeks are closed, and you can't walk the same, man.
Your hamstrings are tight. You know,
you start walking like you don't have any joints. You will not bend your knees when you got a shit. What's that about? Isn't that weird? Think about it.
Well, you sit down to shit, so maybe it's like a subconscious. Don't bend your knees because that's a signal to shit.
Because the knee bone's connected to the colon bone.
It's something, I don't know. Okay. I'm not a biologist either.
Thank you for that word. I was looking for it. All right, what do you think about that one, folks?
That was great.
I think you just threw that in. That's probably the one right there because he knows I won't bite on it because I want it to be true. Okay, well, we got to rock, paper, scissors, as you well know, because you brought us candy things. Rob, what are you up? 3-pumper, 4-pumper?
I do it the right way. 3. Sorry.
My boy, your son's a 4-pumper.
Yeah.
Adoption is not too ever. It's never too late.
Well, it was funny. This morning he was asking my grandma, my mother, you know, his grandma. He's like, "Grandma, how do you do it?" And she's like, 3, you know, that's how. So it's like, yeah, I told him the right way. That's how I was raised, to do 3. You know,
yeah.
But then she's like, what does this have to do? And he tells her, oh, it's the podcast and all that stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, folks. So we're doing 3, buddy.
All right.
Ready?
Damn it.
All right. Before we do that, though, I do want to say we're at the Brush Emporium, so please make sure you check this out. Once again, they're doing a lot of pizza here. They're going to have ice cream here eventually. They have a lot of little vendors upstairs, so it's someone that supports little small business. So if you don't support local business, it goes away, you know. So please make sure you come down and support them. And that's why if we're going to take a quick minute here, a quick couple of seconds, we're going to do a little sponsorship. This is one of the vendors upstairs, so please check it out.
Hi, my name is Suri Guzman.
My name is Jose Guzman.
And we're the owners of Guzman Boots. We're located here at the Brush Emporium at 210 Clayton Street in Brush, Colorado. We have men, women, and some kid boots. They all come from León, Guanajuato. We also carry belt buckles, wallets, and phone cases as well. If you do need a special order, we can also special order any kind of boot in the size that you would like. You can also find us on Facebook under Guzman Boots if you have any questions. Also, you can send us a messenger or call the Brush Emporium or talk with the front office and they can let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so there you go. Make sure you come check that out. A lot of cool stuff down here at the Brush Emporium. Please give them some love. They've actually given us the space down here. Like I said, if you can look behind Adam and me and Robbie, you'll see a partially done room with all the acoustic stuff not put in yet. So this will be the actual Bullhucker studio when we're up and running. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been fun trying to plan how we're going to do it. So please check that out. So, okay, I lost paper, rock, scissors. So I have to go first. 3 great stories. The slide, cliffhanger, and forgot something. Now, Robbie, I think I got you dead to rights on this. Cliffhanger, I think, is true because I remember you telling me some story about that vaguely. Now, this is probably back in the Nighttime Larry days, so you know it's a little fuzzy. But I remember I remember you being up there because even when you worked at the club, you'd go up and work on the summers down there at that camp.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I worked at Shady Brook that year. Right?
Okay.
And that was a pain in the butt going because Shady Brook's way up in Deckers, but so I'd go spend like 3 days a week in Deckers and then come back and spend 3 days a week in Pueblo and just go back and forth. But yeah, prior to working at Shady Brook, I did all those years at Camp Jackson. I think after one of the softball games in Beulah Mountain Park, I think I drove you over the hill and over to the Lake Isabel side. I think we drove by Camp Jackson once.
Maybe we did. Once again, a lot of drinking. So I think cliffhanger is a true story. I think the slide is a true story because that had a ton of detail. It was, but here, Robbie has listened to a ton of these episodes. Every one, you think you said, right? Or damn close.
Yeah, I've seen everyone.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he knows how to fool us. So that's. But I'm going to go with my gut instinct, my bubble gut. I think the slide is true. So I'm going to go forgot something because I don't think that sounds like a Robbie Garcia thing to do. You're not. That's just not you to forget. Unless it's true and you're just a freaking monster. So anyway, so I'm going to go forgot something. Vogue. What do you think?
Well, the odds are going to be in Robbie's favor because that's the one I'm going with also.
Why so?
And the reason why I'm going that way is just from being married. I kind of put myself into that position, and it wouldn't be to me, I don't think she was like, no, I got it all. I think most women would be like, you want to help you son of a bitch? And then they dump it all, and then you're packing it all onto the plane. So just by the way that you said she reacted, I'm thinking that that's why that one's the Bullhucker.
Okay, yeah, that's a great explanation. That's all right, Robbie. We're going to tee up on you. We both forgot something. Cliffhanger in the slider true, we think. So let's see what's going on. I even called it.
Nope.
I am a little disgusted right now. Get out, Robbie. Get out.
No, you've never met my wife. She's like, no, screw you. I'm gonna take when she gets her mindset on something, she's gonna stick to her guns. And
so forgot something is true.
God, you don't know how bad I feel about that thing.
Do you want us to remind you to take Owen with you when you leave right now, or have you overcome that assholery?
I mean, she and don't think she doesn't. She anytime we get in arguments or whatever like that, don't think she doesn't. Oh, remember that time?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you being airport Robbie right now? Are we airport Robbie right now?
Well, usually it's remember on Christmas you left me home and pregnant while you went out on a vacation. Well, when she found out she was pregnant, I was home visiting my parents on Christmas. So
gotcha.
I didn't know that she was pregnant until I got back. But of course, she's like, "You left me alone and pregnant on our first Christmas together."
Robbie. Cliffhanger is a true story. Mm-hmm. I'm disgusted we got that wrong.
I know. And when he was telling that story, I was like, man, there's a lot of detail in this.
Is that why you did it?
It's kind of the way you were telling. I mean, it was like you like a lot of hesitation and study. And then I'm like, when he's telling a story about shit in his pants, so I'd be a little hesitant to,
right?
Right. So I kind of just blew it off. But I kept thinking, I'm like, no, this has got to be it. This has got to be it.
So, for the past 3 months, I've been telling myself this story. The other two happened, so I told them by memory.
Right.
So this one I've been in my mind rehearsing over and
Good
over.
for you.
Now, all the names I dropped, the team, that park, I played baseball there. I've dropped bunts many a times to score trinkets. I've never actually made it to second on a bunt, but...
If you got that wrong, I want you to share this podcast on Facebook. And I want you to tell us, Susan Koser, what's up, Susan Koser? We all know Susan Koser. We should invite her so you can meet, the legend can meet the other legend. Yeah. But put it down on YouTube, on the comment section, if you got this one right or not. You're one of my oldest friends, man. And I thought the whole time he's telling that forgot something. I'm like, this is it. This is the one. This is the one. I got you, Rob. I got you. Well,
when you first said... oh, I like poop stories, so you think I'm going to bite on this. I was like, oh, shit, he's got me.
Something deep down was like, he's trying to trigger you, Larry. He knows you like the poopy story. He know you like the poopy story.
Well, you say everybody's got a shit story, and I keep on thinking back until maybe go back to when I was 5 years old was probably the last time I had a real poop story. And I don't think that counts, so.
They all count, Rob.
Oh, okay.
So... before we go, I do want to talk a little bit about the club we used to work at and how I know Robbie Garcia. I have a couple great memories of Robbie Garcia. Are you listening, young Robbie, over here? Okay. So this is why I call him the legend. Every year for New Year's Eve, well, first of all, let's take a step back. We, our favorite guy, I think, together is Papa Jack. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's going to come up in both these stories. Papa Jack was an old Vietnam veteran. He was probably 4, 5, 8, not even that, 5'2", 5'3", little thing. I say Vokey hot. Mm-hmm. Vokey hot, as well, is if it ain't 280, it ain't a lady. Papa Jack hot is a pulse, and that's even negotiable. Okay, right. Always talk like this. He was like 5'2", handlebar mustache, looked like Yosemite Sam, and talked like this the whole time. Always referred to himself in the third person. Oh, Papa loves this. Oh, Papa don't like that. Papa this, right? But one of our favorite people. So every year for New Year's Eve, they put him in a diaper with suspenders, and he'd run around the club as old man time.
It's Father Time.
Father Time, sorry. And the first year this guy worked there, I look up, and who's in a diaper is Baby New Year. He's in a diaper running throughout the club half naked. And I go, that's a ballsy move, new guy. That's a ballsy move. Do you remember that?
Yeah. No, I wanted to tell you about the first time that we truly met.
Okay.
So now listen to this. Now, I'm not talking about the time where I go in with my application and they go, oh, go talk to Larry over there. He'll interview you real quick. And, you know, I was just a shy, nervous guy. No, the time he truly met me, see, probably for the first week or so there, I'm pretty sure people didn't, thought I was very antisocial because bartending was a lot, well, at a fast-paced club like that, it was a lot harder than, I took bartending class at PCC, Public Community College, and I was thinking it's going to be like Cheers, everybody's laid back telling jokes. Hey, Norm, coming in. No, I got my ass kicked that first week or so. And I'm sitting here I did not talk to anybody. Larry would have to say, dude, breathe, remember to breathe. So I was like, okay, and so anyways, probably those first 2 weeks, I didn't talk to anybody. I was just busting my ass, trying not to get fired, thinking I was going to get fired, and, trying not to bust glasses and things like that, trying to keep up with the pace.
Because you're a barback. You were a barback.
I was a barback, yes. Anyhow, there's this band called Boogie Machine out of San Francisco that the owner booked for the next 2 months. These guys were going to come in every Friday and do this, they do a cover band of disco music from the 70s.
And they all wore the big afros and all the bell bottoms. They dressed the part. They were awesome. They were great.
They were great, yeah. And one of their things was, I guess, they'd always call key members of the staff up from the bar when they did the YMCA and do the, put the costume on them so they look like they're the village people up there. Well, anyways, so they call up Derek, the head doorman.
What's up, Derek Toussaint?
They call up Rachel, who's the head waitress at the time.
What's up, Rachel Fowler?
They call up Marty, who's the MC at the time.
What's up, Marta Munoz?
And then they're like, Larry, can Larry please come up to the stage? And Helen, we're getting slammed at this point. His bar is just the biggest, the bar that just got slammed the most. So we're busting ass. He's getting slammed, and Helen comes over here and she's like, "Hey, Larry, they're trying to call you up on stage." He's like, "I know, I can't." And he's like 6 people deep all around. I can't do. I'm like, "Larry, do you want me to go up?" Shy, timid little Rob. "Larry, do you want me to go up there? You want to go up there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll go up there." Because I guess he didn't know. Like I said, I worked at Camp Jackson. We used to do a lot of skits and stuff, so I used to get into things.
I remember this now. Yep.
So I go. So I'll go up there. He's like, "Go on up." So I go, work my way to the stage. It was a pretty packed day that day. So I'm trying to squeeze through people. I get up to the stage to go, "You're Larry?" I was like, "No, I'm his replacement." And I'm Rob. "Okay, Rob." They give me the cop hats or something. The cop hat and so we look like the village people up there. Since I'm the last one, I'm the A. But anyway, so they get into do 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 do. So while the rest of our staff stand there, I'm starting here do every cheesy disco movie. I'm sitting here doing all this stuff, gyrating, and they start singing. Crowd starts going nuts, and they're like yelling at me, and I'm kind of singing with them. And they're like, "Young man, don't you do. That's it, young." And doing the YMCA, bah. I'm getting all into this. And people are like going crazy. And all of a sudden, people start coming up and putting money in my money in my waist, my waistband.
That's right.
So I started putting money in there. And then the Boogie Machine people, they start noticing I know the lyrics. So like the last verse, they hand me the microphone. So I'm sitting here, "Young man, I was once in your shoes. I said I would." I'm just taking it away. People are crowd's just roaring, because I'm just cheesing it up, and crowd's just roaring and stuff like that. And finally, they're still sticking money down my pants and stuff like that. And finally, at the end of it, everybody's like cheering and roaring. I noticed everybody in the crowd's just cheering and roaring except for the staff. The staff are like frozen in like fear. Like who the fuck is this?
Who did we hire?
So I just remember going down and like all the waitresses are like looking at me as I'm passing it to Laura sitting in the munchie bar. She's like, "Robert, what the fuck?" I was like, I get back to the bar and Larry's like shaking his head and he sees me pulling all this money out of my waist, and it's like, we pull the tips and stuff. So I was like, "Oh," so I go to put it in the jar, and he puts his hand on it. No, pal, that's yours. You earned it. You earned it, man. That's all you.
Yeah, I forgot. I remember that. That's funny. I do remember that story. The story I like the most is there was a long bar, and that's where Papa Jack worked.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective that you can understand, Adam, Papa Jack had a drinking problem. Papa Jack's drinking problem was bad enough to where nighttime Larry thought it was a problem. If that clears it up, okay? It's like Hitler telling someone, you're a bit extreme, you know? So anyway, Robbie's the bar back at that bar, and I tell Robbie, here's what I want you to do. At midnight, we got a shift drink. Right, for 50 cents or whatever, right? Jack had his first, he started that around 5 p.m., right? So, I mean, Papa would get just hammered, just shit can hammered every night. And I'd get pissed because his ring was off, the money was off, and they were up my ass. I was the lead bartender because they took it away from Jack because he was, always drunk. So I told the new guy, I said, okay, hey, Robbie, come here. Here's the deal. That Stolian water on the end of the bar, I want you to throw it out every time you see it. Dump it. Remember that? Dump it. He goes, seriously? I go, yeah. He goes, well, Jack gets mad. I go, fuck Jack. I said, dump it. He goes, okay. So 2 days later, Jack goes, come here. This new kid sucks. I go, what do you mean, Jack? What do you mean? He goes, the new guy, he sucks. I go, well, how does he suck? We need to fire him. He tried to get you fired in the worst way, dude. He wanted you gone. I go, what's going on, Jack? What's going on? He goes, he sucks. He keeps saying he sucks. I go, is he stalking? Yeah. Is he cleaning the glasses? Yeah. Is he cleaning the bar off? He goes, yeah. I go, that's pretty much all we have him do as a bar back. That pretty much sums up his job. He goes, that son of a bitch, he keeps pouring out my drink. I'm like, your midnight shift drink? Yes. I go, bullshit. I said, Jack, our liquor cost is going to go up. And when they ask me, why is the liquor cost up? I'm going to tell them, we're trying to sober Jack up. As ironic as that sounds, because Robbie, how many did you dump out on a nightly basis?
Oh, probably like 5 or 6.
He would pour himself another one over there.
I always make sure he wasn't looking, or right when he was, when a waitress would come up. So, in fact, I think I even might have asked a couple waitresses, hey, go send your order to Jack really quick, give him a big ass order, so I can.
He put up that guy's, Papa Jack usually is so.
Because I never wanted to do it when he could look, and if he ever caught me, I was afraid he's going to stab me in the throat. But.
He would have stabbed me. I'm not joking. He went to Mike first, the owner, to get rid of you. He was so pissed off. Like, Mike said, what's with the new bar back? I'm like, look, man, he's dumping Jack's drink out, and Mike was like, that's ballsy. I'm like, that's ballsy.
He's a keeper.
Yeah. Jack is the one who introduced me to Yukon Jack. That's who first started me drinking that shit. So he'd get hammered. I'd try and drive him home, and he threatened to kill me on a nightly basis. He'd tell me, I'll stab you in the heart, all kinds of, and he meant it.
Oh, FYI, Jack, I think they based the Dos Equis commercial, the most amazing guy in the world.
Most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
Because this guy had every story. He had Jackie Gleason's old pool table. One time he was a professional ski jumper, and he used to and he used to ski to the Sir Duke song by Stevie Wonder and all. He'd tell me all this shit. Oh yeah, that song Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder. I used to do a double flip off the alpine jump. What the fuck he did?
It looked like a midget. He's literally Brindley's height. Your dog. Oh, she's probably a little taller now, but yeah, she. But old Papa Jack was, like I said, Papa Hot was something else, man. I mean, he'd always be rubbing on some. I mean, the chick was always like a foot taller than him. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Papa, love that. Me, Papa's girl. There were so many characters at this club. Him and Carl. Remember Carl? Yeah, Carl does this funny little dance where Carl's son had died in a car wreck, right?
Oh, okay.
He lost his son, and he just turned to drugs. Turned to drugs and drinking, but. The guy was
Tanqueray and tonic, man.
Tanqueray and tonic, but he was safe as milk, right? Like Carl wouldn't hurt you. Like we all liked Carl. He was the most mellow, happy drug user we've ever met in our life. But he would ask every woman in that club to dance, and he was an older guy. He'd pull our age. He's probably in his 50s actually back then.
Yeah.
He's probably in his 20s. He looked like he was in his 50s. He'd ask every woman to dance in that club. Every time, right? And most women would go out, and no guy cared, you know what I'm saying? Because Carl would go out there and do a little dance, and every woman didn't know what to do. Well, for my birthday, Mom and Tim Dussault come to visit me in Pueblo. And as we're sitting there, he walks me and goes, is this your mom? I go, yeah, this is my mom, Mary. Would she like to dance with me? I'm like, she'd love to. And Mom's dancing, like put her hands up like this, like, what the What's he doing? I'm like, he's crazy. He's crazy, Mom. I don't know what to tell you, you know. Dance with Carl, damn it. I wish we could stay here longer, Robbie. You kind of hit our time, man. That went too quick, man. I'd like to sit and reminisce with Pueblo, but I almost had a surprise for you. Almost had a surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
I love having Adam here, but I had called an Old Peppers person to be here, and they couldn't make it.
Oh.
Troy Rivera. What's up, Troy? What's up, my boy Troy? Was living in Greeley. He's the one that the kid from Arizona talked to.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, Robbie's coming down. You should come down and come hang out. And he goes, well, if I lived in Greeley. I go, where do you live? He's like, moved to Arizona. I go, well, man, that ain't going to work. So that'd have been too bad. We have to reminisce one of these days. I know you guys get going. You have to take Mom and Dad back to Pueblo. But it's been a good time, man.
Yes.
But before we go, there is one thing we do want to pump. Usually we have other podcasters on here, whatnot, and we have a podcast we want everybody to check out. I'm going to put a link below when we find out how to get to the link. It's a podcast you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's actually my oldest daughter, Harley. She's a senior in high school, and her English project, they're calling it like a passion project. So what she decided to do was a podcast. They're going to do, I think, 3 or 4 episodes, her and her 3 of her friends. It's called the Off-Brand Podcast. Yeah, she's going to record her first episode. When we're recording this, it's going to be a couple days from now. But by the time this is out, hers should be too. So
awesome.
I'll get that information to Moose, and if you guys would check it out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, put it on the ground and just, give it a listen. I mean, there are a couple of high school girls from North Dakota.
Yep, they live in Hazen, North Dakota, and if her friends, or I've met one of her friends, I haven't met the other 2, but if her other 2 friends are anything like her and the one that I have met, buckle your seatbelt. Who knows what you're going to hear on that thing?
Yeah, and show them some love. Check it out. Give them a listen so they can see it. And it's for a grade, right? So
I think so. I asked her. I go, "Is your grade dependent on views?" She's like, "No, I just have to do it." I go, "Well, still."
Well, check it out. Give some feedback, man.
I asked her if she wanted me to do this. She's like, "Yeah, would you?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Nice. Absolutely. So on the link below, we will definitely have that there. We'll also have the link to the Brush Emporium below, so check that out on all the descriptions below. Make sure you hit that bottom right-hand corner. There's a little red button. That's a subscribe button. That's a
small click for you, but a huge click for us.
A huge click for us, man. Check it out. And if you see us online, man, share it. Hit that share button on Facebook. Get it out here. We're going to start getting a little more serious with this podcast, I think, now that we have a little studio, a little home. We're still going to travel around, as people have businesses. They want us to come in and check out the business in the background. That's always something we love to do. It's a lot of fun, and it's kind of cool to support small-time business and local business. That's what we'd like to do. So make sure you check all that out, and we really appreciate everybody's support so far to this. It's been cool. Have a lot of people come up to me wanting to do the podcast, so we got quite the list going, and we're going to keep doing this for a while, man. But Robbie the legend, man, it's been so good to see you, man.
Awesome. See you guys, man.
And
great to meet Adam.
Finally meet the Adam,
yes.
the other legend.
Yeah. Nice. I got my hug earlier today. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because Adam will hug you.
Catched it on the hug.
He's supposed to hug you, but sometimes you got to force it on him. You know what I'm saying?
I've kind of dropped the ball on that a couple times. Then I tried to hug some lady that didn't want to hug, so I got to get better.
He'll hug you, end up in a lawsuit. So anyway, Rob, thank you so much, buddy.
No problem, man. Anytime.
I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Adam Voki.
Next time. Peace.
That was fun, man.